Rejuvenate, restore, refresh, and heal. At Fantuzzo Acupuncture, we seek to help achieve effective health and wellness in an elegant spa-like atmosphere. Fantuzzo Acupuncture specializes in traditional acupuncture, cosmetic anti-aging acupuncture, acupressure, cupping, CBD topical creams, and more. Approach healthcare holistically. Visit FantuzzoAcupuncture.com to book online today. FantuzzoAcupuncture.com.
Hey, this is Kimberly's Revolution, and we want to give a big shout out to Precision Lawn and Garden, which is re-upping for another couple of quarters. I think Precision Lawn and Garden is in it for the year for advertising on Kimberly's Revolution, which we love. 195 North Avenue in Webster, open weekdays 8 to 5, Saturday 9 to noon. Precision Lawn and Garden has been providing Rochester, the surrounding areas, professional sales, service, and parts since 1969. They have everything you need to mow your lawn, everything you need to make sure that your lawn looks better than anyone else's in the neighborhood. Chainsaws, lawn mowers, new models, on sale models, all still products, Cub Cadet, Ferris, and Toro. It's Precision Lawn and Garden, 195 North Avenue in Webster, open weekdays 8 to 5. And of course, nothing looks better than a nicely sealed driveway. Express Sealers makes your curb appeal look fantastic. Call Express Sealers because they're not a fly-by-night company. They're not one of those door knocker sealing companies. Protect your investment. Power trim the edges. They do that. They treat grease spots. They use thick, professional, hand-applied commercial-grade seal coat. And I'm telling you, you can't go wrong with your driveway than having it sealed by Express Sealers. Now, here's the phone number, 645-2010. That's 645-2010. Call the best, Express Sealers. And of course, if you're looking for steady work and good pay, Express Sealers are hiring. 645-2010.
Live from the We the People broadcast studio here in hazy 81 degree Irondequoit. Here's Kimberly.
Me. Hi, happy Monday. Kimberly's Revolution is live. We are on the air. We welcome all of our patriots. How is everyone doing? Happy freaking Monday. Hope you had a great weekend. Look who's joining us today on Kimberly's Daily Revolution. It's Chad Hummel, lawyer extraordinaire, also a broker extraordinaire. You wear many hats, my friend.
Mondays suck. But I'm glad to be on as a guest.
You are a guest on, well, because you have your own podcast.
That's correct. God Freedom,
which runs
every Tuesday,
but not tomorrow.
4:00 every Tuesday. Tomorrow, we're going to have a different time. I have a little golfing excursion tomorrow.
Okay. Yes. Very important. You're,
Don't look at me.
You're schmoozing people tomorrow, and that's a good thing.
Golf is important.
Schmoozing is always great. And of course, just Tom. Tom is here.
That's my name. Don't wear it out.
He's an appraiser, also a broker here at Revere Realty. We help you buy and sell homes. That's what we do for a living, and we've been very busy lately. So the market is good, although I do believe that the markets are crapping the bed this afternoon. Last I heard, they were down over 900 points coming in. Just don't pay any attention to it.
Who cares?
Just don't pay any attention to it. Today's show name, of course. Did I forget to play? No, I played the starting music, didn't I? I think I did. Okay, yeah. Okay, it is Monday.
Love that song.
Wow, had a little too much weekend.
We miss it?
Huh?
Did we miss the opening music?
No, I had.
I didn't have my headset on.
Why aren't you wearing your headset? You don't like the headphones?
Know. It's too warm.
It's too cool for
your
it.
hair too perfect.
I don't like to be caged in.
Yeah. Oh, really?
I like my ears to be free.
You want to be free?
Yes.
Free. What'd you guys do this weekend?
Graduation party.
Lots of parties.
Oh, yeah. Graduation parties.
In the rain.
The torrential downpour, right?
Yeah, Saturday was my niece's graduation party.
Okay.
Out in, it was at Grease Canal Park on Elm Grove.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just absolutely a deluge of rain.
Yeah.
But luckily she had a beautiful cabin lodge.
Oh, that's nice.
So we were in the lodge.
Safe, yeah.
So it was good.
I saw a lot of people with tents. Like, the big giant tents that have flaps on them that, where the rain can't blow in at you. Yeah.
Right.
So graduation parties, right? And your son has a graduation party coming up.
Correct. July 31st.
Yeah.
Big graduation party.
Your graduation party and my old producer's baby shower are on the same day. So I have to divide my time. Tom, good weekend. What'd you do?
We had our Hamlin family reunion on Saturday. And then yesterday, Danielle had her baby shower. So
Because she's ready to go.
for
When's she
baby
due?
Sophia,
Grandpa.
September 8th is the date.
September 8th
Grandpa
Yes.
Morgan.
for
Grandpa
Grandpa.
Morgan, right? Sure.
And hello to Austin, who is joining us.
How many parties you
hello.
go to, Austin?
This weekend?
Yes,
Just one.
just one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think everyone's got a
It
couple of
wasn't.
those.
It wasn't like your own party, was it?
No, it was a big family reunion type
All
thing.
Oh,
I was
very
going to
good.
say something that
Yeah.
was inappropriate. I stopped.
Okay.
Well, we want to thank, of course, Rockvox Productions in Bushnell's Basin. Fitz makes it happen. Rockvox, ROCVOX.com. If you or your company want to get together with some people, maybe some clients, maybe you're putting together a marketing thing, maybe you want to do a podcast because you think it'd be fun and helpful to your company. Of course, Rockvox Productions does all that courtesy of Fitz. And Austin, here also an employee of Rockvox Productions. We appreciate them just like we appreciate every one of our sponsors. I do believe I have great news for next week. I can't let the cat out of the bag now, but we have another sponsor coming up. We have another sponsor coming
do?
up, I think, that might
Yeah.
be joining
Woohoo!
Kimberly's Revolution next week. They're just beating down the door. I'm telling you, I'm loving it. So I can't tell you. You guys don't even know this sponsor that's coming
All
on
right,
board.
keep
so
it a secret.
It's a surprise
We
until it
only
happens.
pay the bills.
Okay.
That's okay.
So the sponsor has yet to be approved by corporate
You're-
Revere Realty.
You're on a need to know basis,
All
but
right.
I do believe that it is in. We're just waiting on the paperwork.
All
So
right.
keep
Wait a
those
minute.
sponsorships rolling in.
We have paperwork.
We do. You're supposed
That's
to be
scary.
doing the paperwork. You know,
Oh, all right.
we have to keep track of these
So we're
things.
gonna have to come up with some
We have
paperwork.
to have some kind of a flow chart or something. I don't even know how to make those.
Hopefully
but
the
anyway,
new sponsor's not watching right now.
the name. Well, I can't. But everything works fine. We'd have our own system,
Right.
Exactly.
and it works fine. So I spent the weekend up in Alexandria Bay over the weekend. I call it A Bay, but my daughter chastised me yesterday when we were having a little, outside barbecue. She goes, "Mom, you can't call it A Bay. You've been up there once. Try to sound so cool." I'm like, went up to A Bay over the weekend and camping with some friends, and it was a good time. The name of today's show is I Scream, You Scream, the Nazi Scream for Ice Cream. And there's a story we're going to roll out to you a little bit later on about Nazis in Fairport eating ice cream. How dare they?
Can't wait to hear about this.
I'm not even, listen, I think we can all agree no one's a Nazi lover, right? None of us care for the Nazis. We don't want to see the swastika anywhere. Keep that bullshit to yourself. But do Nazis deserve to get ice cream?
You ever seen Tom's tattoo?
It's on my ass.
He's got
Great.
Yeah, I
Which
mean,
means
whatever.
Apparently, Chad has seen it.
I mean,
What would you
there's
rather
some-
see?
There's some misguided, stupid people out there, ill-informed, that have the swastika tattoo, and they may or may not have it on their motorcycle. But the question is, can they pull up in Fairport and eat ice cream without getting hassled?
I'm going to go
I
with
don't-
no.
I don't know. Do they have the right to pull up in Fairport and get hassled because they might have a swastika tattoo on or whatever looks like a swastika?
I think in Gates or Greece they would get away with it,
Okay, but not Fairport.
but not Fairport. Or
Sure,
Pittsburgh.
why not?
Okay.
What the hell?
It's
Shouldn't
okay.
we,
I'm
all,
just-
shouldn't we all be able to get
I
ice
think the
cream?
swastika's a West Side thing.
I don't know. I'm conflicted on this because again,
You're conflicted on it?
I'm conflicted because on the one hand, I believe that you're in this country and you're an American and you're free. And if you're stupid enough and an idiot enough to have a swastika tattoo on your body somewhere or on your motorcycle, or maybe on one of the stupid little patches that you wear on your little biker jacket, which I've always hated those biker jackets. I think it's a bunch of guys dressed up like they're the Mickey Mouse Club and they're out on their motorcycles and they're looking all cool. But that's me. I'm entitled to have that
There-
opinion because I'm American and I pay my taxes.
There
and I'm
goes
free.
Harley Davidson as our next sponsor.
No. You know the guys I'm talking about, like the Hells Angels or the one percenters. You know the one percenters, right?
Tom's a 1%er. You ever seen his bank account?
he's a one percenter of naked in his hot tub. That's what
Right.
he's a one percenter of. But I don't know. It's a good conversation. Should Nazis be allowed to get ice cream?
Yes.
Sure, why not?
So we'll break that down. So that's why the name of the show is I Scream, We Scream, the Nazi Scream for Ice Cream. That's the
Love
name
it.
of the show.
Wasn't Ice Cream National Ice Cream Day or something? over the weekend?
I think it was yesterday.
What kind of
Yeah,
ice
there
cream
you
did
go.
Nazis like?
I don't know.
Obviously
Well-
vanilla, Chad.
Let me tell you what kind
Probably
of ice
not.
cream Nazis love.
Probably not chocolate.
Vanilla with rainbow sprinkles.
Why wouldn't they love chocolate ice cream? Actually,
Just a
Chocolate ice
shot in
cream.
the dark.
That is my favorite.
It's a
chocolate
shot
ice
in the
cream.
dark.
they like hot fudge sundaes with rainbow sprinkles
There
and
you go.
gummy bears, to be exact.
Gummy bears.
How's that for specific?
See, I knew they were softies.
They like gummy bears and sprinkles on their ice cream. And
Well,
I know this because someone cared to take note and go into detail. And we're all about detail. You're a lawyer. You're all about detail, right? The
I
devil,
have no
the
detail.
devil is in the
devil
details,
is in the details.
right? So I don't know
I
what
can't wait to get to this story.
we're going to get to the story. But first, we're going to get to a story that broke on Friday while I was up. Well, I want to get to this flag. So I took a picture of a flag when I was at Alexandria Bay. So we went up with my friends, Sabine. She's German. Speaking of Nazis, she's not one. Although her grandfather was in World War II, but he was not a Nazi. He was just,
Sprechen Sie Deutsch?
he was
He was an interpreter?
Sprechen Sie Deutsch. Well, he was in the German army, but he wasn't, I don't know, what do you call it? Not all of the German army, those that took part and joined, because I don't think you had a choice under Hitler. We're Nazis. You got to know your history. But anyway, Sabina is a very tall and blonde and beautiful, and she's got this great boyfriend. And we went up to Alexandria Bay for the weekend with them.
Bay.
She said tall, blonde, and beautiful. Then she had to throw the boyfriend thing in there. Unbelievable.
And then she has a boyfriend.
Jeez.
And he's got this great, and I actually glamped
You did what?
for the first time since 1973. I actually went camping, not like camping I did with my family for a month, going through the upper Midwest, North and South Dakota, all the way through Canada, Saskatchewan, Alberta, Manitoba. Not that kind of camping, but actually camping in a trailer that had 2 pop outs in this great island in the middle of the pull behind. What do you call those?
Travel trailers.
Travel trailers, right? And it's beautiful granite.
Yeah,
It's
they're
got
nice
like
now.
a flat screen television.
Yeah, they're
The
gorgeous. now.
bedroom is a queen bed and like all kinds of different, drawers. And I mean, that's fancy, right?
I always bring my drawers when I go camping.
So they brought both bicycles, and now I want one of these travel trailers, although I don't really like to camp. But so the campground that we were at had like 2 giant swimming pools and a tiki bar where they would make you drinks. That's my kind of camping.
Right.
That is I could camp all day if I'm doing that. If they have a tiki bar and you pull up and she's got like a huge bathroom with a shower.
That's not camping.
It's camping. I camped.
Camping is a tent, a mess kit, a package of hot dogs,
Oh, I could be a mess.
a stick,
I drank enough
Hot
to be a mess.
dogs.
some marshmallows.
Had
you supposed to-
marshmallows.
aren't you supposed to eat off the land?
We had
Mr. Hummel?
steak, and she's got like an oven and a cooktop in her travel trailer, and we had corn on the cob, and we had steak, and we had salt potatoes. Oh yeah,
That's
we
not
do it up right.
camping.
And then as Sabine and I were bicycling around on Friday, because we got up there early Friday morning, probably around 10 or 11, enough time for mimosas and bicycle riding, which is, ladies, not smart. Drinking and biking, not smart. But we're driving by this one particular campsite, and I noticed something incredibly ridiculous.
There it is.
What is that? What is that? What?
That
Is
is the
that?
Stars and Leafs, Kimberly.
Now listen, I do love me some Canadians. They are super duper friendly, and that Trudeau guy is very good looking, and they do have some great maple syrup. But that is bullshit right there. That is nothing but bullshit. And again, I love you Canadians. You guys are the best. I don't want to see whatever mashup that is. What is that? That is an abomination.
That's a hybrid.
Hybrid my ass. You going to hang that at your house?
No, we've talked about this.
You got a
There's only
Polish
one
flag
flag.
that's an American flag for
Nope,
you?
that's
Are
a
you
great
gonna,
point.
Are you going to Betsy Ross it and like stitch the Canadian maple leaf and the stars and stripes together?
I have the American flag on one of the lights on my garage on the left side, and I have the Polish flag on the right side.
Thank you.
They're separate. They're different flags.
Separate but equal.
Well,
Not really equal, but
No,
separate. I'm not even going to compare the Polish flag to the American flag, and no offense to any, Poles that are listening, but
Dzień
let's be
dobry.
honest. What is that?
Dzień dobry.
Yeah, right. Excuse you. What does that mean?
Hello.
Oh, okay.
In
Dzień
Polish.
dobry.
Dzień dobry.
What is bullshit in Polish?
Bullshit.
Yeah, I didn't learn that one.
Ask your wife.
I have a few other things that are worse than that.
And
that
I
I've
understand.
learned.
I mean, maybe it is a dual household. I don't know.
Guvna is shit.
Guvna.
Guvna.
That is guvna.
Guvna.
Anyway, that's all I'm saying. But you do it the right way. One flag, the other flag.
Yeah.
Neither shall they ever meet, ever. Right?
Was there any
Together.
other indication of whether they were Canadian or American?
Nope. One flag. You get up there to these campgrounds, you see a whole lot of different, right? You have the American flag followed by
Oh, there's another American flag on the ground.
It's a little bit, it's the one you stick in the ground.
In the dirt.
Yeah, you're right. But you see a whole lot of stuff. You see Trump signs with the American flag. You see the police,
The blue line
the
flag.
blue line flag. You see the POW flag, the Vietnam vet flag. You see a conglomeration of flags. Never have I ever.
No, that's absurd. Cheap bastards. They didn't want to buy two flags. That's what that amounts to.
Do you think?
Yeah. But who made the flag, though? I mean, who's marketing that as an actual flag?
It's a flag. I mean,
Yeah.
It comes with a legit, you would buy it in a store.
I don't necessarily agree with all of these arcane laws when it comes to flags, but we do have laws. There are U.S. flag codes, and there's no way that complies with the U.S. flag code.
That's a violation.
Yeah, no question.
I mean, and I know that we're only, once you're up in Alexandria Bay, you're only
It's a
what?
violation.
It's a violation.
you're
It's a
like-
misdemeanor.
You're 2 seconds. You could swim to Canada in Alexandria Bay.
Do you think that guy drinking a 12-pack of beer really cares about a flag violation?
I wanted to, and they weren't outside.
That's
Had those people in the travel trailer, because they had one similar to the one that my friends had. Had they been outside on their little concrete patio,
you would have walked right
with their
by and not
drinks.
said a word.
do you think?
No.
It's
I would've.
Kimberly with a couple of mimosas in her. I don't know exactly
On your bike.
if on my little bicycle. I don't know.
You should have been flagged for a violation.
all kinds of violations this weekend, which we won't get into. But we were up there with a bunch of friends having a great time camping, and I drive by this, and I'm like, what is that? That could ruin my weekend.
Why didn't you go knock on the door?
As I said, had they been outside, I would have said something to them. Did I want to get off my bike
What would
and
you
go
have
up?
said?
I would have said,
What the hell's that?
what the hell is that?
And you probably would have got a really reasonable story
I-
to explain it.
I would have. I'm
Right.
sure
They
I would
lost
have.
a bet.
Half of them are Canadian, so they're nice.
Yeah, it's right across the border.
Maybe the guy's grandmother was Canadian. His grandfather was American.
Right.
Yeah.
They sewed that together. It was draped over the casket at the funeral, and you're
No.
ripping on it.
No, that's not it.
Could
any
be.
any Biden signs? No,
Shocker.
not one
who's
single Biden. President Biden and Harris. You saw none of those signs. You did see a lot of Trump and the American flag signs.
He did get his vanilla ice cream with a waffle cone that he
Yes.
normally gets.
Did they give him a straw for it too?
No.
Do we have some video footage of Kamala? You sent something to me earlier.
We did, and
the
the reason
vaccines?
is, because let me just tell you, they're blaming Facebook because there aren't enough people. See, here's what I always say: the Democrats will eat their own; they don't give a rat's ass.
Yeah.
They will turn on you at a moment's notice.
Right.
And Facebook is realizing this because now Biden is basically saying that social media is killing people by not doing enough or not doing enough to take down vaccination crap on social media. People post, vaccination. President Biden and Kamala Harris basically say that they're not doing enough to stop all the misinformation on vaccinations. So, and they're going at it. So President Biden over the weekend told reporters that social media and big tech were killing people. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki said health misinformation on social media is leading to people dying. And I guess that's where maybe Mark Zuckerberg, takes a little offense. And he's like, I'll be damned. They're going to tell me that people are dying. And obviously they're getting pushback now. So no one likes being accused of killing people, including Facebook. But really, you get what you get, because all along, Biden and the Democrats, up until Biden took office, the vaccination was a no-go if Trump was behind it, right?
100%.
Right.
And I've got the video to prove it. And here's the video.
That is approved and even distributed before the election. Would you get it?
Well, I think that's going to be an issue for all of us.
If and when the vaccine comes. And it's not likely to go through all the tests that needs to be and the trials that are needed to be done.
When we finally do, God willing, get a vaccine, who's going to take the shot? Who's going to take the shot?
Hopefully you.
You can be the first one to say, sign me up. They now say it's okay.
And the question of whether it's real when it's there, that requires enormous transparency.
What?
You got to make all of it available to other experts across the nation so they can look and see. So there's consensus, this is a safe vaccine.
If the president announced tomorrow we have a vaccine, would you all of what went into it?
If Donald Trump can't give answers and the administration can't give answers to these three questions, the American people should not have confidence.
But if Donald Trump tells us that we should take it, I'm not taking it.
Oh, wow.
You can't make
All
this
right.
stuff up.
So how's that Build Back Better going? Is that going good? Build Back Better with Joe Biden?
They created what they're dealing with. They created it.
Sure they did.
They created it.
That's the very misinformation that
There
they
it
speak
is.
of.
Yes, there it is, right there. Until
They don't care.
Trump lost unfairly. We all know this, right?
Mhm.
Then all of a sudden, it's a different deal, right? It's a different thing.
Yep.
Completely different. So Biden says that Facebook is hampering vaccinations. Everyone should take it. But just 12 months ago, there's Biden. I'm not going to take it. There's Kamala Harris. I'm not going to take it. Okay. Why the difference now? Do we know so much more than we did 12 months ago? We don't really,
Not a
right?
thing.
There are how many vaccinations are out there? Some have side effects, some don't. I mean,
At one point, they pulled the Johnson & Johnson vaccine.
they did. They
I mean,
did.
that was a real thing that happened. And we're supposed to just blindly take it because the government tells us to?
They have made this mess, the Democrats. They made it.
They're such hypocrites.
Facebook didn't make it. You saw that video. Can we play that again? I think we can. Possibly.
So let's just say there's a vaccine that is approved and even distributed before the election. Would you get it?
Well, I think that's going to be an issue for all of us.
If and when the vaccine comes. And it's not likely to go through all the tests that needs to be and the trials that are needed to be done.
When we finally do, God willing, get a vaccine, who's going to take the shot? Who's going to take the shot? You can be the first one to say, sign me up. They now say it's okay.
And the question of whether it's real when it's there, that requires enormous transparency.
Question of whether it's
You got
real,
to make all of it available to other experts across the nation
right?
so they can look and see. So
Okay.
there's consensus, this is a safe vaccine.
If the president announced tomorrow we have a vaccine, would you take it? Only if it was completely transparent that other experts in the country could look at it.
Okay.
Only if we knew all of what went into it.
If Donald Trump can't give answers and the administration can't give answers to these three questions, the American people should not have confidence.
But if Donald Trump tells us that we should take it, I'm not taking it.
There you go.
Why can't we have a third group?
That's
Why
all you
can't-
need.
So
That's all you need to hear.
The bottom-
right there.
The bottom line is then if you take Kamala at her word, Kamala, whatever the hell her name is, if you take her at her word, if Trump had won the election and was still the president, she would not be taking the vaccine right now. She would not have taken it. Presumably she has, right? She-
Who knows? First off,
Yeah,
you can't
well,
believe
exactly.
a damn thing that comes out of
That's a great point.
her mouth, or President Biden doesn't know what is coming out of his mouth the majority of the time.
Yeah. What placebo did they have shot into their arms?
And then you see all the guys that left Texas because they didn't want to vote, for voting that actually, makes voting fraud almost, go away.
Yeah.
So they got on a plane and they hightailed it to Washington, D.C., and half of them have COVID. You saw that, right?
Maskless. They were on a plane.
They're on a plane maskless, and what, 5-10 of them have now come down with COVID?
I didn't hear that.
Oh, yeah.
Did they really?
Yes, they did.
And presumably they're all vaccinated.
I don't know.
Right.
Well, let's face it.
I don't know.
Again, let's just take them at their word. Let's just take them at their politics. They're all vaccinated.
Yes, and
because why would they get on a plane without masks on?
And they sent Kamala Harris to a hospital over the weekend, I think yesterday,
That's a
because
shame.
she met with those legislators, those assembly people that were on that plane that went to Washington, D.C. She met with them, and now you have 5, at least 10, that have been diagnosed with COVID. So I guess they took her so that they could, do testing at the hospital. And now they can't leave Washington, D.C. for 20 days because they were diagnosed with COVID.
So Texas is happy.
Go away. The legislation in Texas has already passed.
So if they're not vaccinated, then they're hypocrites.
We don't know.
I'm just saying, but let's go both ways. If they weren't vaccinated, then they're hypocrites because we know they've been cramming down their constituents' throats to get vaccinated, get vaxxed, get vaxxed, get vaxxed. And if they were vaccinated, well, then how the hell did they get COVID? Because all we keep hearing about is the pandemic right now is a pandemic of the unvaccinated. They're blaming those that aren't vaccinated.
Right.
Oh, everybody that's unvaccinated are the ones that are dying. Okay.
Well, and that's
my
saying.
Choice. If I want to die, I'll die. Haven't died yet.
So they say for months, Facebook and other social media companies have been playing whack-a-mole with accounts that falsely claim that COVID-19 vaccines don't work. Well, I don't know that they're saying that, COVID doesn't work. I think they're just saying that there's some of them that have some big time side effects, right? Facebook has taken steps to limit the spread of vaccine misinformation, but the Biden administration doesn't think Facebook is doing enough. Well, what the hell? Again, do we want to just be like China and North Korea and Cuba where you'd shut down the internet? Because that's what they do when they don't like your message. Social media will shut you down if they don't like your message. And the president doesn't like the fact that Facebook isn't completely hindering free speech.
Exactly.
That's the crazy part. The president wants them to completely hinder free speech and get rid of everything that doesn't toe the Biden-Kamala Harris line. That's frightening. So now, since big tech didn't stand up for others, now the president is coming for them.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
And that's what happens. That's what happens when you don't stand up and put your foot down and take a stand against censorship and your right to your First Amendment right. The big dog will eventually come for you and stomp you out.
The other thing that's at issue here is that we're already on the wrong road. And I've said in the past, when you're on the wrong road, you're never going to be able to make the right choice. It's always a choice between wrong and wronger.
And less wrong.
Yeah. So
right?
So when somebody like Joe Biden, who is the head of the federal government, essentially, he's the top dog in the country. When somebody like him perceives that there is misinformation about healthcare information on the internet and that he should have a say in that, why should the government have the first say in it? Your health information is supposed to be between you and your doctor, right? Isn't that what the progressives always tell us? My body, my choice.
Yes.
Between you and your doctor.
Well, it's only in certain circumstances.
So, Joe, if
you don't apply.
Yeah, exactly. Joe, if I'm getting misinformation, it's from you. I'm entitled to get misinformation from you, the federal government. I'm entitled to get misinformation from others on social media. But at the end of the day, it's between me and my doctor.
Yes.
It's my choice.
It is your responsibility. It's your body.
Yeah. So he wants to be there. He's just fighting about who's in charge of the information.
Yeah.
It's like when Republicans and Democrats are running for office. I always say that, they're not fighting over conservatism and liberalism. They're fighting over who gets to be in charge of the money, who gets to be in charge of making the next set of rules that are going to impact my life.
Yeah.
Right now, Joe Biden is fighting with Facebook about who gets to be in charge of the misinformation.
A vaccine.
Not the correct information. Who's in charge of the misinformation? Who's in charge of imploring you and I to get the vaccine? Tom already got it, so I'm just kidding.
You what? Oh, yeah. No, we gave him the fake one.
Right.
But yeah, I mean,
worked out well.
So the CDC says a recent surge in COVID cases and I guess in the Midwest in some of the states, I don't know, is because of largely the unvaccinated, and then
it's
the unvaccinated are spreading whatever. No, that's not the case. I mean, again, I'd like to know, but we won't know how many of those Democrats in Texas that got on that plane maskless because they didn't want to vote for legislation that would get rid of voter fraud, that now have COVID, which they do. 5 have been confirmed, possibly 10. They're waiting on results, that now are quarantined in Washington, D.C. and met with Kamala. I mean, we don't know. Were they vaccinated? So I don't know that the COVID surge is due to the unvaccinated. Maybe the COVID surge is due to the vaccinated because the vaccines maybe don't work. I don't know. I'm not a scientist, so I don't know if they do or don't work. I think they put them together way too fast, which is why I'm not getting the vaccine.
It's still
until
not FDA approved.
You have to roll it out and see how it goes. So if you're vaccinated and you can get it, oh, but Kimberly, you don't understand. The results are less severe. Okay, shut up already. The results are less severe.
And I love that line, right? That if you the whole purpose of the vaccine is so that if you do get COVID,
you won't die.
You won't die.
Is that a guarantee? And where can I get that in writing?
And your symptoms will be less.
Where's my guarantee?
Except for 12 months to 18 months, all we heard from the left was that you're asymptomatic. That just because you don't have symptoms doesn't mean you don't have COVID. So can my symptoms be less than asymptomatic? Right. How many thousands of people were told that they're spreading COVID asymptomatically? That's why we had to wear masks.
Right.
That's why we had to social distance, because we were all asymptomatic disease spreaders. That's what I was. I was an asymptomatic disease spreader.
Shame on you.
Now I'm supposed to get a vaccine.
How dare you be a disease spreader?
Now I'm supposed to get a vaccine that's not FDA approved to make my asymptomatic symptoms be less. Got it. Absolutely, Joe. Yep, that's right, Joe.
Yeah, that's why there's a third group.
That information.
The third group should be asymptomatic people or people that have had COVID that have the antibodies. And if you can somehow prove that, why should you get a vaccine?
I'm not proving shiatsu. You know why? Because I don't have to as an American citizen. I get that. I don't have to.
I get that. But if you think of, what are we, 55% in New York State now fully vaccinated?
My point was.
Allegedly.
So 45%, how many of the 45% have either already had COVID or are asymptomatic? Probably 40% of that 45%. There's probably only when they talk about unvaccinated people that never had COVID, you're probably looking at 5 to 10% of the people.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter
I would
is,
agree with that.
The liberals are hypocrites. The liberals are hypocrites.
Yes, to the max.
Until it comes to their own agenda. And I just wanted to play that so everyone would know, because you're not going to see that. You're not going to see what we just played you on regular flyby,
Why doesn't Zuckerberg
the
play
drive-by
that?
media?
Zuckerberg should play that in response to Biden being pissed off.
I'm not even sure that we won't get nixed for playing that.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure that they're going to allow us to stay on Facebook with that video. We're not doing anything wrong. We're not saying vaccines or whatever you want to, whatever they say that gets you blown off Facebook. We're not saying that. We're just saying, listen to what they said several months ago and listen to them now blaming Facebook for COVID deaths. That's what I said. They take a giant leap and they eat their own.
No logic. That's
what they do. And for big tech to be, censorship, until they come to censor big tech. And they will. And that's what they're trying to do. That's all they want to make us, is one big China or North Korea.
State-run media.
Where you don't have the freedom to say or think anything. And if you do think it the wrong way, they'll come for you. That's frightening, and it's happening.
Well, they're rolling out a door-to-door. They're rolling out a door-to-door vaccine program to come and check on you to see if you've been vaccinated.
Come to my door.
Yeah. I already have a sign up.
Shocker.
Of course you do. Hey, it is Kimberly's Daily Revolution, of course, with Chad Hummel and Just Tom, and
I'm here.
Austin is here with us.
I'm
Every
just a
once in a
guest
while.
today.
We thank our advertisers, Van Tuzo's Acupuncture. We also thank Express Sealers and Precision Lawn and Garden. Please support our advertisers because they support us. And if you want to advertise, you can just reach out to me here or Just Tom or Chad Hummel on the We the People Podcast Network Facebook page. We're all over the place, right, Tom?
On Facebook?
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
all over
that's
the
my
place.
job.
That's your job.
We're all over the place on
That's
that
your
show
job.
too. Usually,
That's my job.
So We the People Podcast Network, we have the fan page, right?
Yeah, there's 4 places to see Kimberly's Revolution, but the network itself, yes, We the People Podcast Network.
We the People Podcast Network. So lovely Warren, another indictment came down. Let me ask you, you're a lawyer.
I love how she says that.
You're a lawyer.
A lawyer.
What?
That's just so classic. Nobody says it that. That
I thought it was liar.
Liar.
she says it the right way. She's the only person that I've ever met that says it the right way.
I am from the
A
Midwest.
lawyer.
I am
Yeah, that's
super smart.
That Midwest thing going on.
I do enunciate.
Yes, enunciation.
So, so if you're
Not guilty. It's always my answer.
My daughter is in court today because there was a big DWI, and she said, I'm a little nervous because it's her first time she has to take the stand. And I said,
love it.
watch yourself,
I'd
because
love
the
to talk to her.
attorneys will try to trip you up.
Tell her to call me.
Do not get flustered. Just stick to the facts. You cannot go wrong.
Just the facts, ma'am.
will speak for themselves. Do not let the attorneys mess you up.
Do you have any idea? Maybe you shouldn't say it even if you know, but do you have any idea who the defense attorney is that'll be cross-examining her?
I don't. I know who the defendant is.
Gotcha. Yeah, don't say that.
That I'm
either.
not going to say. But
Is it Tom?
I don't think it's me.
There's a bench
you,
warrant out
I'm
for
not-
his arrest right now.
But you never know. Sometimes I am at 2 places at the same time.
can you practice law if you are convicted of a felony?
The easy answer is no.
Okay, thank you. That's all
That's
I
the
need
easy
to know. That's
answer. The answer that would get me in a lot
You
of
may
trouble.
step down, Mr. Hummel.
If you are
The answer that would get me a letter from the Attorney Grievance Committee, I'll keep that to myself.
What?
Because we're talking about Lovely Warren, right?
We're talking about lovely Warren.
And we're talking about like people like Leticia Stasio, who they get to practice law no matter what they do.
Well, right, because they
Yeah.
weren't found guilty of a felony.
Right, right.
So if you are found guilty
I'll move on.
and convicted of a felony, you are not allowed to practice law.
That is correct.
So if she wants to practice law, she better hope that one of these 2 indictments that she's now facing goes away.
Yeah, they'll give
Mayor
her a
Lovely-
plea deal.
Yeah, she's going to get a nice deal.
Mayor Lovely Warren of Rochester, New York, who was going to be the savior for the city, who has turned out to be the biggest colossal failure that the city has ever seen,
And hypocrite.
and hypocrite and racist.
Yeah.
If there's anyone racist, it's got to be Lovely. Do we have a picture of what she was doing after her latest indictment? Oh, there she is. There she is. What is she saying? She's basically saying something like, I walk by faith. That was her tweet after the indictment came down on gun charges Friday
What the hell is that?
from the district attorney, Sandra Dorley.
She's taking a picture of her feet?
A grand jury has again indicted Rochester Mayor Lovely Warren and her husband. You remember him, Tim Granison. He was the one with all the kilos of cocaine, taking their daughter around on drug deals in the city, making Rochester safer, of course.
Yes.
You remember those 2? You remember Tim Granison,
Sure.
husband of Mayor Lovely Warren. Together, they were the power couple. They're going to make Rochester safe. Get rid of all the guns off the streets. Get rid of the drugs.
Get the guns off the street, put them in her house.
Get the drugs off the streets. Put them in his car so that he can take his daughter around on drug deals. Yeah. On Friday, a grand jury indicted Mayor Lovely Warren and her husband on criminal charges in connection with the firearms that were found at the home during that major drug bust. Tim Granison was busted as one of was busted at the mayor's Woodman Park home in May after her husband's arrest in a major cocaine distribution ring. So those are the charges. He wasn't at home. He was stopped on his way to a drug deal. But you know who was at home with the unsecured firearms that are not registered to either Mayor Lovely or Tim Granison?
The 10-year-old daughter.
The 10-year-old daughter was home alone. I do believe there are child endangerment charges on there as well. Although they're misdemeanor, or are they?
Endangering the welfare of a child is a misdemeanor.
It's a misdemeanor.
Yeah.
So both are charged with criminal possession of a firearm, a felony, and 2 counts of endangering the welfare of a child and failure to lock the guns in a safe place, because the .40 caliber Smith & Wesson was in her bedroom, because I don't know if there's a gun in my bedroom. And I'm not sure where the semi-automatic rifle was. Did you guys ever hear? I don't know where the semi-automatic rifle was.
Where's the drug charges? That's later?
That's a separate indictment for him.
Oh, okay.
There were no drugs found in the Woodman Park home that she allegedly lived in or didn't live in or was sometimes living in. But the fact of the matter is they will be in court on those indictment charges on Wednesday. Then what?
Don't they get separate lawyers
then?
or
Yeah.
do they go in together on the same charges, or don't they get represented separately?
They have to have separate lawyers because it would be considered a conflict of interest, because at some point it's possible that they could be pointing the finger at each other, although there is spousal privilege,
right?
So that there can't be compelled testimony against each other. So there's all sorts of nuances to this with the two of them. But basically after the indictment is an arraignment. It's basically where the court unseals the charges, lets them know that they've been charged. They enter not guilty pleas as a standard, matter of procedure. And then usually the case proceeds to motions. Their lawyers will file motions to dismiss. They'll claim that the documents are defective. They'll claim that even if everything's true, it doesn't amount to what they're being charged with. There could be a number of different legal challenges that could be brought against the indictment. And then it'll move into a plea deal stage. Or if the district attorney's office isn't looking to play ball, then
I don't think
it'll
our
move to a
district
trial.
I don't believe our district attorney is looking to play ball.
Probably not.
And I'm not saying that because I have any, background information. I will tell you that I do know from talking to someone over the weekend. Did you know Timothy Granison was allegedly driving for Uber?
At what point? Just generally speaking?
Just generally speaking, and may or may not have used that little job as
in a drug enterprise.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that he
Did
may
I
or
just
may
say
not.
it?
You did. He may or may not have been using that to his advantage when he was driving around the city, posing as an Uber driver /
Tom, why did you Uber?
crack cocaine
Because I'm bored.
deliverer. That is my understanding that he was
Is that
driving.
like Drug Hub or something?
He was driving drug. Yes,
Drug
Drug Hub?
Right.
exactly. But yeah,
It's not a bad idea.
so they're
Call in
in
your
court.
order.
Let me just tell you, if there were drug charges, if my husband they found to be was a major player in a mid-level drug operation, and there were guns found in my house, and my 10-year-old was home alone, and by the way, I didn't even have the guts to go over and get my 10-year-old myself. I had to send some security detail from City Hall to go get her if I happened to work in City Hall. Do you think that any of us sitting here today, or any of the fourth men or the Patriots or whatever you call them,
The Minutemen. and
the
women.
Minutemen, he did work for UPS. He was not working for UPS. He was out on leave for a second fight that he got into with the supervisor, is my understanding. So he was working for UPS. He was not working for UPS at the time. He was trying to get his job back, but he had been suspended, and he was driving for Uber.
Yeah, to make a living.
Right. Do you think that any of us would be sitting at home, kind of watching TV, doing our thing? Or would we be in jail with 2 felony indictments against us?
Well, it's a little bit different of a question or example, but look what she did to the chief of police over non-criminal activity. She wiped him out. She essentially perp walked the chief out of his job.
Yes, she did.
So yeah,
Took his handcuffs, and he had to have clothes brought to him.
Took his clothes. Wouldn't even let him. He didn't have a ride home because he had a company vehicle. So
That's
to
it.
speak.
Why didn't
Nasty hypocrite is what she is.
And we're going to play some of that nasty hypocrite audio on Wednesday during Kimberly's Revolution, the big show that's at 4:00 on Wednesday, right?
Yeah, I have some great audio from Lovely's inauguration speech back in 2014, January of 2014. It's alarmingly prophetic what she had to say at her inauguration speech versus what's actually happening right now as we speak with her
I
current
can't wait to hear
indictments.
that.
Yeah.
I know you kind of broke a little bit of it down for us.
Yeah,
so
I just didn't have enough time to get it together to Austin.
Austin will she be cuffed with LaRon's cuffs? One could only hope. But listen, she's facing felonies on two fronts: campaign finance and the handgun in her bedroom, and then the misdemeanor child endangerment charges.
You know,
if she ever wants to practice law, she cannot be found guilty on either one of those. And hey, you might slide on one, but I don't know if you're going to slide on both. I mean, you might be lucky. I don't know.
If I had to make a very unsubstantiated prediction, because I haven't read the indictments, I don't know what the facts are that they're alleging, but she'll probably slide on a felony under the campaign finance laws, because there'll be some technicality in there that her attorneys can really hone in on that will cause the prosecutor to think a plea deal makes sense. When it comes to the weapons charges, with the political climate in New York State, when it comes to firearms, and the fact that, and this is something else that will break down as part of this video,
right.
She was a staunch advocate, signed a letter when she was president of city council. She signed a letter to Governor Cuomo in support of the New York SAFE Act, which included the very regulations and violations of the law that she is now charged with. She signed a letter imploring Governor Cuomo to institute the rules and the laws that require your firearms to be locked up in your own home.
I can't wait to see this.
So
I'm glad you found it.
Yeah, I have the signed letter that when she was sitting president of Rochester City Council. So I don't see her skating on that as a felony unless she goes to trial and obtains an acquittal from a jury. That's always possible.
So, I just, the whole thing makes me a little bit crazy, right? That's just, me.
Let me tell you what makes me crazy though.
Oh, by the way, I my thought was, and hold that thought.
Yeah.
Don't lose it.
I've been holding it all day.
The word is that she says the gun was her mother-in-law. So when the mother-in-law came over to babysit, the mother-in-law brought the .40 caliber weapon.
Wait, she said that?
That she said that, yeah.
Publicly?
It has been, I tried to find the news story. I saw it in a news story that she's blaming the mother-in-law.
Well, I'll tell you what, her lawyer won't be so happy about that statement if she made that publicly, because what that does is that basically tells a jury that she had the knowledge that the firearm existed in her home. And that's all that matters. If she knows it's there, that'll satisfy the intent element of the crime. She intended to possess it.
Right.
If she had an opportunity to get rid of it and she didn't.
Or tell her mother-in-law not to bring it over when babysitting the 10-year-old. Who brings a gun when they babysit the 10-year-old?
Yeah. So that's not good if she admitted that.
Only the mother. It was either her mother or the mother. It wasn't her mother because her mother passed away, but I do believe it's the mother-in-law or another relative that came over to babysit the kid. All right. Nazis and ice cream. The name of the show of Kimberly's Revolution today is I Scream, We Scream, the Nazis Scream for Ice Cream. And the reason I said, do we have the pictures, Austin, of the Nazis with the ice cream in Fairport? And this was posted on Fairport by a Mary Sweet, M-A-R-I Sweet, and a Julie Carter. Julie spelled regularly, Julie Carter. So that is, if you see that little gold shiny thing on that motorcycle there, I don't know what kind of sweet ride that is. Do you think it's a Harley? I'm not sure.
I think it's a 10-speed.
It's a 10-speed. There's a little swastika sign there. They took a picture of the bike. How they got up close enough without the bikers having a fit, taking a picture of their bikes, I have no idea.
Excellent point.
Do we have another pic? Or were you able to get those before they disappeared?
No, I'm sorry. This was the only one I was able to.
Can you zoom in on that, Austin?
So,
by any chance?
Hold on, maybe.
I'm blind, just having trouble seeing that.
You just the gold.
From here, it looks like a Bitcoin.
It does.
Nice.
Okay. And
there we go.
The other pictures, I didn't, like an idiot. I'm an idiot. I did not save the other two pictures that they had, but one was a picture of the S's on the side, like the SS, but there were 3 S's. So I don't know if that is like a bike type. I mean, I could be wrong, but what these girls were alleging is that the bikes on the side said SS. But if I remember the pictures correctly, there were 3 S's that looked like the SSS. Like the Nazis SS, but there were 3 of them on the other side of the bike. Then they had a picture of the girl and the guy walking to get ice cream. And he had 3 patches on his on his biker jacket. And again, you can't see those. It's an Iron Horseman bike. How do you know it's an Iron Horseman bike? I mean, but this person might be right. And let me tell you why.
Expert.
So Mary Sweet and Julie Carter were at Moonlight Creamery in Fairport, which I do believe was yesterday. And she said, I was there tonight featuring Nazis. I sat next to their motorbikes or I don't think they're motorbikes. I think they're motorcycles. Who calls them motorbikes? Eating my cherry bourbon and s'mores dish. Sounds delicious.
She have her mask on?
Chewing it up and contemplating the world we live in. Those are not my words. Those are her words.
Did you say chewing it up?
Yep. She said, ice cream at Moonlight Creamery in Fairport this evening. Tonight, featuring Nazis. I sat next to their motorbikes, eating my cherry bourbon and s'mores dish, chewing it up and contemplating the world we live in. Maybe these were misunderstood Nazis. Certainly they've had hard lives. Why judge them for being literal Nazis? They just want to eat their ice cream in peace. No, they weren't misunderstood and they were being jerks. They mocked a middle-aged man in an ice cream parlor for wearing a rather handsome skirt. One of them called the canal a shithole. Yeah, it kind of is. Have you seen it? It's kind of dirty.
Yeah.
Another said that Fairport was Mr. Rogersville. Okay,
So what?
It's true. There was a large group of Fairport families enjoying their ice cream by the canal where the Nazis had their bikes parked during all of this. They were completely oblivious. Nothing to see here, har har. How's your golf game, har har? Atrocious. They're all cowards. Only one couple even looked directly at the swastikas and expressed appropriate horror. I told them I was Jewish, and they scurried away. Julie decided to do the most New York Jewish accent imaginable loudly in front of them. I was a little afraid and told her to stop. I did nothing other than photograph them and stare. When the Nazis were done complaining about Fairport, they peeled out at top speed through the library garden and told Julie to fuck herself on the way out.
Good.
It was cinematic. These Nazis would have been confronted in the Wedge or Monroe Ave or even Park Ave. No one did anything in this collective non-action in service to free speech. Conspicuously, we were outside, and this is how violent fascism spreads.
Huh?
Right.
Wait a second.
The best part was the meanest looking guy, the one with the swastika on his jacket,
The
which again,
meanest looking guy.
ordered a sundae with rainbow sprinkles and gummy bears. My question is, and again, I do believe that we can all agree that Nazis are really bad, misinformed, ill-educated human beings. If you're wearing a swastika on your arm, you're probably pretty stupid. You might be a low life. I don't know that for a fact.
How bad?
But we know that Nazis were defeated for a reason. Hitler was evil. The Nazis were evil. The whole ideology of Hitler was evil.
Glad you said that ideology.
All of that is evil.
How bad for attention are you?
Correct.
If that's what you got to do.
You got to wear a swastika on your. But here in America, you have a right to be an idiot. Do you not?
Well, yeah, that lady who wrote, is that a Facebook post?
You know what she wanted?
She's an idiot. She's got a right to be an idiot.
She wanted people to confront these guys.
Yeah, but she didn't.
Wanted people to say something to these people, to hassle them.
She's a clown.
Okay, so were they wearing swastikas and they're stupid? Okay, yeah. But were they hurting anybody? Were they hauling anyone off on a train anywhere to some kind of camp?
And she called them violent.
Right? She called them violent.
She referred to them as being violent at the end.
She says no one did anything. Is this collective non-action in service to free speech, or is this how violent fascism starts? That's what she said. My question is, she wasn't happy just to sit there and eat her ice cream and go, okay, there's a freaking moron with a little motorcycle jacket that's got Iron Horseman on the back and it's got a swastika on. She's not content to do that. But she wants people to rise up and, I don't know, beat the shit out of these guys who are probably packing. They're probably packing.
Let me just say this.
Am I wrong here?
Yeah.
I'm not going to confront an Iron Horseman or a dude with a swastika on his jacket unless I am also packing.
How about this?
And who takes their gun to go get ice cream? Not me.
If those fine gentlemen with their motorbikes their iron horses and their swastikas. If they were burning and stomping on an American flag on the side of the canal, this woman would have applauded them for their free speech.
Yes.
Their right to free speech.
That's the crazy part.
That's why this progressive liberal, right, that wrote that.
I'm sorry. Jewing it up and contemplating the world we live in. Who says I'm eating ice cream, jewing it up and contemplating the world we live in?
And what does this woman
What does that
think
even
of,
mean?
What does she think of Rashid Tlaib and AOC when they're constantly publicly declaring their anti-Semitism?
Oh, they hate Israel.
Yeah.
They hate Israel.
But she probably
whereby
loves
America
Rashid Tlaib.
stands behind. Oh, she probably does. I don't know. I don't know Mary
I'm
Sweet,
sure she does.
and I don't know Julie Carter. All I can say is, don't be ridiculous. Don't be ridiculous.
And when BLM is running up and down the sidewalks all summer, trashing people's tables while they're trying to eat dinner on the outside sidewalks, did this
She's
woman have
behind
anything to say on Facebook?
That's not violence, Chad. That's accessing their freedom.
Gotcha.
That's making a point and
Just wanna be
showing the
clear.
world. I'm letting you know.
Yeah.
Someone says that guy that's wearing when you can't see it here, but he's wearing a 3-piece patch, a center patch with a rocker above and below, which is a traditional style and speaks to the type of club the rider is in. Again, we don't have the picture. Not all of these. So it means he's a 1%er. And if you don't know what a 1%er is, 1%ers are clubs like Hell's Angels, the Banditos, the Iron Horsemen, etc. And since he has all 3 pieces on his jacket that we don't have the picture of because they got afraid and they took him down, that indicates that he's a full member probably of the Iron Horsemen. He's got the 3 pieces. Or he's a poser who doesn't know any better, and I'm sure that the Iron Horsemen or the Hell's Angels will take care of him eventually, right?
Is there any chance that this guy just bought this jacket at a thrift store? No chance.
And he's too stupid to realize that a swastika is a really bad idea.
Yeah, who knows, right?
I don't know. We fought World War II for a reason, to eradicate Nazis and the Nazi regime and the ideology that Hitler wanted to make the world a whiter, more pure, planet.
Nobody agrees with that.
Yeah.
Nobody agrees with that.
There's a comment up here that I want to address because I've driven by the sign several times and it's really kind of irked me. But Brighton has a BLM flag outside their school.
Mhm.
I don't know if either of you have seen it. It's
I
not
have
just
not.
a flag. It is a huge banner, probably 10 by 8 feet on 2 big posts right out on 12 corners. And it's a BLM flag. And it's just, I would need an entire show to talk about it. But,
Right.
but just to the point of, here's a woman who is so offended because this gentleman did absolutely nothing but eat his ice cream. Yet it doesn't bother
and make a joke about some guy in a skirt, which, quite
doesn't
frankly.
bother her at all, probably. And I'm making an assumption, but it doesn't bother her at all that there's a big, huge banner sitting on 12 corners, essentially on school district property, telling the children how they have to think and believe.
Right.
That is the indoctrination that an ideology like Nazism was. That's how Hitler was able to gain the traction that he gained. It wasn't because everybody woke up and said, you know what? I want to kill people. I want to murder 6 million Jews.
Process of years.
It was an ideological indoctrination, which is exactly what that BLM flag is out on 12 corners at the high school. Because do all the children at Brighton High School have to believe in the BLM movement, the Marxist movement that it is?
They better, or they'll be ostracized.
Do all of the children
better.
at Brighton High School have to believe that it's okay to throw rocks through windows and trash people's dining experiences on University and Monroe in any given summer months? Is that what they're trying to spread with their BLM flag? So
are Nazis morons and really bad people and swastikas are ridiculous? Yes. Should you be able to eat your ice cream in America peacefully if you're not causing any trouble without being harassed by people who think that, the swastika is a bad thing? You should probably be able to eat your ice cream. This is America.
with sprinkles.
With sprinkles and gummy bears.
Just
yum.
Only vanilla ice cream though.
So again, we want to make it clear that basically we believe that you should be able and have the freedom to not be harassed while getting ice cream on a Sunday evening. And for this woman to want to engage people to confront these people who are probably armed is a really bad idea. Really bad idea.
I hope she's the one that engages him next time.
She won't because she's a coward. She just wants to write about it and post pictures later.
Was that on Facebook?
If you really want to be, it was on Facebook.
Okay.
If you really want to make a difference in the world, go ahead and confront next time and tell them your beliefs. Get into a conversation about why they might have the swastika on their bike. Maybe they have a good reason. I don't know.
Maybe they just bought the bike off Craigslist yesterday and they were
We
planning on
don't know.
removing it.
There you go.
I'm going to go with that.
That's going to do it for Kimberly's Revolution on a Monday. Look at that. Monday, come and go. Bye, bitches.
That's it?
That's it. We will get together again, programming note, on Wednesday. We will get together Wednesday at 4:00. Thank you to all of our sponsors. Yes, you're schmoozing with someone big time tomorrow in hopes of really putting together the We the People Podcast Network and making it big time, because that's what we do. We do big things here
On the
We the People
our
Podcast
banker's going to
Network.
give us a big loan.
That's what we're hoping for.
Just what we need is another loan.
That's
Chad.
what we're hoping for. So you guys have a great rest of your Monday. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks to all the Patriots here watching on We the People Podcast Network. Thanks to Chad Hummel, who sat in today. And of course, just Tom,
who didn't do much today.
And
Go
Austin,
America.
and Go America and Austin. And of course, thank you to Fitz at Rockbox Production. That's going to do it.
And to our new sponsor, who we don't know who it is.
But you will.
So God bless. Be kind to others.
Rejuvenate, restore, refresh, and heal. At Fantuzzo Acupuncture, we seek to help achieve effective health and wellness in an elegant spa-like atmosphere. Fantuzzo Acupuncture specializes in traditional acupuncture, cosmetic anti-aging acupuncture, acupressure, cupping, CBD topical creams, and more. Approach healthcare holistically. Visit FantuzzoAcupuncture.com to book online today. FantuzzoAcupuncture.com.